Good morning, guys. It is 10:45 a.m., June 26th, Sunday morning, and I'm getting ready to go into BioLife to donate plasma here in just a few moments. However, before I do that, I want to share something with you that I read that I found very meaningful in this book that I've been reading called Edison, written by Edmund Morris. Now, the topic of today's video is going to be about cultivating endurance. Okay, cultivating endurance. What does it take? How do we get it? Because we all know that it's important. When we want to talk about athletes who have crossed the finish line and exemplified endurance, it's not always the winner. It's anybody who's been willing to go the distance. It's the people who've stayed in the game long enough, and it's very commendable. It's a very commendable attribute, a very commendable characteristic. And it's something we all need to cultivate. Now, there are people that we might deem as quitters, okay? And we might consider ourselves as being an individual of great stamina. However, let me make something very clear here, is that everyone has the ability to cultivate endurance, okay? Because I guarantee you, even those people that you think might be losers, they care about something enough to stick around. Because that's what endurance is. Endurance is ultimately about sticking around long enough to reap the rewards, to see fruit on the vine. That's what endurance is. It's about patience. It's about time. But in a nutshell, it's about sticking around. And sometimes it's about sticking around longer than everybody else. And that is oftentimes the difference between fulfillment and failure, fame and obscurity. All right, let me tell you where I'm getting this from. When you read about Thomas Edison, whether your knowledge of him paints a good picture in your mind or not, there's one thing you can say, is that the man was very successful. He was very, very brilliant, and he was an indefatigable worker. Okay, he would work all hours of the day and night, and just had no quit in him. And I just find his work ethic remarkable. Now, I'm going to share a word with you here. I'm just going to a little sidebar here. There's a word that I read in this paragraph that I've never seen before. Okay, and it really comes into play. The word is obverse. Okay, now listen for it in this paragraph. Obverse really just means the chief side of a coin. The chief side of a coin. In other words, if you pick up a penny, there are two sides of the coin, right? There's Lincoln on one side, Lincoln's head on one side, and on the other side is a Lincoln Memorial. Now, Lincoln's face, or Lincoln's profile on the coin, has really never changed. However, on the other side of the coin, it has changed from time to time. What you see on the back of it now is a Lincoln Memorial. But the chief side of the coin is Lincoln himself. In other words, if someone was to say, identify what a penny looks like, you would say, well, it has Lincoln's head on it. You might say it has the Lincoln Memorial on it also, but it wouldn't be the chief signifier. Correct? So it is the most important part. It is the bigger part of the picture, the most important part of the picture. And so this word obverse comes into play in this, and I'll try to unpack that here in just a second. So listen to this. Thomas Edison had a mathematician and a physicist who worked alongside of him. He had a lot of them, actually. And one of the individuals who worked side by side with him was a man named Francis Upton. Look at this picture. And now look at his beard. Isn't that magnificent? See how he splits it down the middle, combs it from side to side? I tried that years ago. But anyway, listen to what he had to say here, because he had a hard time understanding Edison's stick-to-itiveness. Okay? And as an inventor, it's very important to be able to endure. It's very important to have stamina. And Edison just had more of it than a lot of people. So here's what this paragraph said. Upton was a brilliant young man of mathematical and statistical bent, And because of those qualities, he was slow to comprehend the way Edison's mind worked. To him, 4 months of failed experiments on one intractable thing meant that the thing was no good. That seems to kind of make sense, right? You get his vibe here, right? To Edison, failure itself was good. It was a fascinating obverse of success. If studied long enough, like a tintype image tilted this way and that, it would eventually display a positive picture. Think about that. Rewind it. Go back a little bit. Listen to that paragraph again. That gives you a lot to think about. I mean, Francis Upton was a smart man. And to him, the math just didn't add up. I mean, you got to know when to call it quits, right? You got to know when to walk away. There are times when the world will say, what you're doing isn't working out, maybe you should quit. And maybe sometimes that's good advice to heed. But if you really believe in what you're doing and you don't feel like you've exhausted all your energy, all your resources, and all of your desire to see something come to fruition, then by all means, forge ahead. Whatever it is that you're doing, by all means, keep your hands on the helm. And I like what he said here. It said, to Edison, failure itself was good. It was a fascinating obverse of success. The chief signifier of success is the ability to stick around failure after failure after failure. And if you read about Edison, you'll understand and you'll know that he had thousands and thousands and thousands of documented failures before he ever stumbled upon the solution. When I say stumbled upon, I'm not just using that flippantly. Sometimes it's all it came down to. Just a coincidence, a chance encounter with fate. Something falling in his lap, and oh, that's the answer he's looking for. All these thousands of other times he failed. So I hope that means something to you. I hope it'll stick in your mind today that failure is the fascinating obverse of success is failure. That gave me a lot to think about. You know, don't give up so easy. I mean, you need to count the cost. You need to assess the worth of your endeavor. You need to ask what it is you really want, what you're really after. And if you really believe in it, don't give up just because you failed once, twice, 3 times, 300 times. If you haven't exhausted your resources and your stamina, keep on going. And I know there are some things in my life I would have never gotten had I given up so easily. So chew on that, ruminate, think about it, okay? And get back to me. Leave a comment in this comment section down below. Tell me how you stuck around for the long haul. Guys, I do appreciate it. I hope that it speaks volumes to you. If you wonder what I have on my beard today, I'm using Akoni beard oil and beard cream from Husky Beard and Grooming. I have been using them a lot lately, and I don't talk about them very often, but Boswell 15 will save you 15% on all their beard products and their apparel and their accessories at huskybeard.com or something. I'll put that in a link down below in the description so that you can acquire your own. Personally, there is nothing from Husky Beard that I don't like. So give them a try. Use my code, save yourself some money, and let me know what you got, because it really works out for me a lot. I've enjoyed it. Have a great day, guys, and be wise.